Okay, ready to go. What's up? Okay, what's up, beautiful creators? Welcome back to my channel. I know you guys are wondering why I'm always in different locations every other video. I got you. I know you're wondering why I have my whole setup in front of me. I got you. Today, we're going to be talking about my rig setup, my on-the-go setup, my full production setup, all of these setups that I have. I only really have those two, but we're going to talk about them. And I want to just share with you guys the equipment that I use, why I use it, when I use it, and where I use it. So, without further ado, we're just going to get started. Okay, so as you can see, if you can or can't, this is the cam. But I shoot with a Sony a7 III. That is my main camera. I originally had the Sony a6300, so I definitely did upgrade. But I do a lot of my personal projects, and I do a lot more on-the-go projects than I do bigger productions. However, I am trying to get into more bigger productions, and so that's why I do want to have a cinema camera, so that I can put myself, you know, in the bid for those bigger productions, those films and commercials and things like that. But as of now, I've been pushed more for like branded content, social content, really social content, IGTV kind of content with different influencers and things like that, or YouTube content. And so this is perfect for me as of now. The first thing we're going to talk about is my run and gun setup, since I already have it all together. Usually I don't use a tripod for my run and gun unless it requires me to, but for the most part I'm always using handheld or my Ronin S, depending on what I'm shooting. So first, to get started, we have the Sony a7 III. With that, I have a small rig cage, and with the wooden handle, it just helps me stay more stable as I'm shooting handheld. So normally I have one hand on the wooden handle, the other hand more on my lens if I need to zoom. The good thing about this lens, which is the Sigma 18-35, is that it does do autofocus, but just in case I want to manually focus, I can have one hand under the lens to be able to focus or zoom in and out if I need, and then the other hand is on the handle, which is helping me stay stable and get all of that together. I like using the Sigma 18-35. I know it's a crop sensor lens. Originally I had the Sony 6300, so it really just kind of like carried over when I purchased the Sony a7 III, because unfortunately I'm not like this rich influencer or this rich filmmaker, and so for me I have to do things like one by one. And so I bought the camera, and I just kept the Sigma 18-35 because I can use it on the Sony a7 III, but it was for my 6300. So if a lot of you guys are wondering why I use the Sigma 18-35 on a full frame sensor, that is why. Eventually I do want to get another lens, but this is just kind of like, it's good for what I do as of now. I always have the Tiff & Quarter Pro Mist on it, because mostly I'm always shooting a person, even if it is branded or IGTV content, and I just love the look that it gives. With that being said, all together I have the Sony a7 III, I have the Sigma 18-35 with the Sigma adapter on it, and then I have the wooden handle that I purchased from Amazon, and I can leave all the links below. And then I also have the Rode Video Micro, so I'm actually going to get a new mic, but as of now I do use a Rode Video Micro. It's actually a really good mic to use. All the videos you see on my Instagram, all the videos you see on my website has been from this setup. The newer piece of equipment that I do have is the Zoomwell power handle. I actually won this. I didn't purchase it. I won it from a contest with Brandon Washington. He's a YouTuber that I follow. And the thing I love about this, and I just kind of added it to my run and gun style, so I don't always use it. I just use it when necessary. But the thing I like about this is that basically it is what it is. It's a power handle. So it's a handle, as well as it can power my camera. It can power a monitor, anything that you would need to power within your rig, it can. I used to have the small HD focus, and so normally I would shoot with my Sigma, my Sony a7 III, and my small HD focus. And so with that, I would be able to power my camera and my monitor all off of this handle, while also using it as a handle for stability. So it's like an all-in-one, which I love. It normally lasts for the full day, so I don't have to worry about bringing multiple batteries with me as I'm doing run and gun, and it just makes it so much easier without having to pause, take out a new battery, put it in. It's like I can just kind of like use this for the full day and pretty much be good. I am gonna get a new monitor. I just sold my small HD Focus because it just wasn't really giving me what I needed. I want to get a monitor that does have a lot more ports that will allow me to do what I'm trying to do for bigger productions. But I do have, and you can't see it, but I have the small HD 7-inch. I just want something a little smaller. So I might get the small HD 5-inch, or I might get a Field World monitor. I'm still haven't decided yet, but normally I will also have a monitor with this set. The monitor thing really just depends, because if I'm doing something where I'm more standstill, I'll use a monitor, but if I'm truly on the go, I might just use the flip out that is already attached to the camera. It all really just depends. So again, this could be more simplified depending on the project, but for the most part, this is my run and gun. The next thing I want to show you guys is my setup for like a bigger production, because a lot more equipment come into play. I also rent a lot, and so there are equipment that you might not see, but I definitely rent, and so I'll show you guys in some photos. But we're going to switch all of this up and then put it up so I can explain to you guys the bigger rig that I use for actual bigger production. So give me a second. Okay, so I am back and I have hooked up my full cage. This is exactly what I would use if I was shooting a bigger production. And the cool thing is I have it to where if I just needed to quickly put it on a tripod, I could. So we're gonna do that. So this is my full rig setup. Couple of things with this, and I just wanted to, I didn't want to like completely take it down because it would take some time, but I wouldn't keep the mic on there because if I was shooting a bigger production, I most likely would have sound separate, so I wouldn't need the mic. I also wouldn't need the power handle because I am using a V-mount battery, which would do the exact same thing that the handle would do, which would charge my monitor as well as my camera. So I wouldn't need the power handle. I would most likely put on my other handle, but I would still have everything else attached to it. And like I said, it was easy to put on here. So if we do something on sticks and I need to put it on the tripod, it's even easy for me to put it on the tripod. And if we need to take it off, it's easy for me to take it off. I also have the small rig handles on here that I purchased from Amazon. So I would actually be able to use it as a shoulder rig. And then I have the Foca DP500 matte box. And so for the most part, this will be my bigger production setup. I also have a neck rest or like a shoulder rest. And so when I'm using this and I need to use it as a shoulder rig, I can rest it comfortably on my shoulder to where it's not hurting. So if I wanted to take this off, I would most likely have my shoulder rest and I would rest it like this. And then this would be like my full setup, as you can see, but I didn't attach it. I have 15mm rods that I also normally would rent, but I would rent a follow focus so that either I can do it or you can rent the tilted wireless to have someone else do it and just attach it to the lens so that as I'm shooting, someone's pulling focus. So there are a lot of things that I actually rent that I don't have, but that will be included in this rig if I'm doing a bigger production, because with bigger productions come bigger budgets. And so I would most likely rent a follow focus, most likely rent a different lens. As you can see in one of the photos, we used the Sigma art lenses for a film that we shot. I still use my Sony because they didn't have a huge budget, so I'd rather invest in better glass than I could with a camera, because if I invested in a better camera, then we probably wouldn't have been able to get both. So I wanted to do more having better glass than investing in the camera. So we used my Sigma a7 III, and then we just rented the Sigma art, and as you can see, even through the photos, it has the follow focus. It also has the Hollyland wireless receivers so that the director will be able to see it from their monitor and then everything that I'm shooting. So whenever I have a bigger production, it's either a production that I'm shooting for myself and I put the money in to rent it, or a production that someone else wants me to shoot and they give me a budget and I can get the necessary equipment that I need. But I did want to have like the basics that I wanted to have personally for myself, so that when they did hire me, it wasn't like I had nothing. And so this is the basics. But if they ever come to me saying that they want this and this and this, I always throw out my recommendations on, like, if we do need to rent a better camera, if we do need to rent a, you know, a better lens, I always throw it out there. It really all just depends on the project. So this is my setup for bigger productions. I showed you guys my setup for the run and gun. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I think I covered everything as far as what I use. These sticks is the Kayer BV30. I've actually done a video about this tripod on my YouTube channel. It's an old one, but I've been using this for the last two years, and it's an amazing tripod. I also have a Zoom H5, so if I'm doing any documentary work or any interview kind of work, which is, I do a lot of those, I bring the Zoom H5 and I usually rent audio, which very soon I'm actually trying to make sure I have that as my basic necessity within, you know, my own gear, so that I don't have to. And if, you know, we need more audio, I can rent that, but I definitely want to have my own pair of audio equipment as well. So that's like the next buy. But I do have a Zoom H5. That's normally what I use. And then I'll usually rent Sennheiser Lavs or a Rode NTG3 for my boom. So again, this is my stuff that I have, but I do rent a lot. It's okay to rent. If somebody's hiring you, they should have a budget to get you the things that you need, but it's always nice for you to have a little bit of your own, because if you do have at least the basic necessities, you can charge a kit fee, which is the price of using the equipment that you have, because you had to pay for the equipment. So charging a kit fee is telling your client, hey, I'm charging you to use the equipment that I have, because I also did have to pay for this equipment. You know, because either they're gonna rent the equipment and it goes to whoever you're renting from, or it's gonna go to you if you have your own equipment. And also for you to just shoot for yourself. So a lot of this equipment is because I shoot for myself. I just shoot my own content and to just push on my Instagram and push as a creative. And so a lot of this was just for me, but I'm also able to use it for client work. And so that's really why I have what I have. It was for me, and then I was able to transfer it over. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you share with your friends and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for watching. Leave all your comments below, and I will see you guys very, very soon.